Hello friends, today our topic is n jobs and two machines. In the previous video, already we have discussed what is the n jobs and two machines in the job sequencing problem. Now in the video, we have used the Johnson's algorithm. Now particularly that Johnson algorithm is also known as Johansson algorithm or just slightly changing the spelling of Johnson algorithm, and that is the first problem of the job sequencing problem. You can check that video. In that video already we have discussed what is the algorithm of Johnson and how we are proceeding with the two n jobs and two machines. Now in that video a method has been followed. Today we are not discussing about the algorithm, we are directly processing to the problem which was on that video also, and we are just today using another method, and we will find the result must be unique or not, because here the job sequencing is changing. At first we will proceed to the way already we have discussed in on that video. So we are starting. So according to the problem, there are 7 jobs, that is n finite, and 2 machines. So first step, we have to find out which is our minimum processing time from machine 1 and machine 2. If we look at the table here, the order is obviously M1 and M2 and processing order, and here the minimum processing time is for job 3 and also belonging to machine 1. So we are choosing that. As there are 7 jobs, we have to draw 7 blocks also for the job sequencing: 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7. Now as that is our first job 3 and that is from machine 1, according to the order we are just sequencing that job at first, and we are crossing out that job also. Next we have to find out the next processing time, that is minimum. Here we are finding that 3 is the next minimum processing time, and that is belonging to job 2 and job 4, but from machine 1 and machine 2 also. As machine 1 in the processing order at first, so we are processing job 2 at first, but as machine 2 for job 4, so we are processing it or sequencing it at last. So in that way we are crossing out the job 2 and job 4 also. So next we have to find out which is our next minimum processing time, and next minimum processing time is 4, and that is for job 1 and job 5 and for machine 1. So here previously we have said that now we have to look after the largest processing time for machine 2. In the largest processing time of machine 2 we are finding job 5 here. So according to that we are writing 5 before the job 1. Okay, and next once again we have to find out the next minimum processing time, and that is once again the 5. It's a tie and that is belonging to machine 2. Now we have to check the largest processing time of machine 1, and here the largest processing time of machine 1 for job 7. So we are writing it at the last and just immediate before, that is 6. So that was particularly our last method. Let's check what happens next. The same problem here, the first step is the same thing. We have to check the minimum processing order. Before that, we are once again drawing 7 blocks for the 7 machines. The minimum processing time 1, so we are choosing it, and that is for machine 1, so we are writing 3 at first as the sequence. Next we have to check the next minimum processing time, once again that is 3, and that is belonging to job 2 and job 4, as machine 1 has the most priority in the processing order, so we are writing 2 here, and for machine 2, that is job 4, so that must be written last. So according to that, job 2 and job 4 we are crossed out such that it is not repeated. Next we have to check once again the processing time for machine which has. Now the next minimum processing time 4. Now before already we have said we have to check the minimum processing time for machine M2 or the largest processing time for machine M2. According to that, we have written as 5 in the first position because machine M2 has largest processing time for machine job 5. So we are writing here, but here we are just changing the sequence. That means which has the minimum processing time in machine M2, we are writing the job here first, then immediately we are writing the job 5. So we are crossing out that thing. Next, same, we have to check the next minimum processing time, that is 5, and that is for machine M2. Here once again we have to check the largest processing time for machine M1, and here when that is written as for job 7, that has the largest processing time, we have written it last, but here we are writing it at first, then the job 6. So here is the change occurring. So according to that, for the first sequence we have 3 2 5 1 6 7 4, and here we have 3 2 1 5 7 6 and 4. Let's check the total elapsed time and the idle time are unique or not. If we look out the previous video, then there we will find for the same problem once again the sequence was 3 2 5 1 6 7 and 4, and there the total elapsed time was 38, and the idle time for machine M1 was 3 and for machine M2 was 5. Let's check the result is unique or not for that particular sequence. Here the sequence has been changed for the job 1-5 or 5-1 and for 7-6 or 6-7. That is the problem, or that is the table for the processing times has been given at first according to the, and we are starting from machine M1. The first job is 3. So we have to start from 0 as there is no initial time has been given. So if we look at the job 3 for machine M1, we can see the processing time is 1. So that is the 0 plus 1 or 1. So next in the order, that is M2. So it has to start from 1, and for job 3, that is processing time 2. So its out time is now 3. So we are crossing out the job 3. Next job in the sequence is now 2. Machine M1 has out time 1, so it has to start from 1, and for the job 2 the processing time for machine 1 is 3. So 1 plus 3 out time is 4. Now M2 here end at out time at 3, but as M1 out time is 4 M1, so it has to start from 4 as it is in the order. So 4 starting or in time from 4, and for job 2 the processing time of machine M2 is 7. So 4 plus 7, that one is 11 is the out time for machine M2. Next job sequence, now that is changed from 5 to 1. So here the out time of machine M1 was 4, and for job 1 that one processing time 4. So out time is 8. Now it ended on machine M2, out time was 11, so it has to start from 11. And for job 1 the processing time was for machine M2 as 5, so its out time is now 16. Next job 5 in the sequence, machine M1 out time 8, start from or in time from 8 for machine for job 5, and for the job that one is 5, its processing time is 4, so its out time is now 12. Machine M2 out time was 16, so it has the in time 16 for job 5, and its processing time is 6, so it out time is now 22. Next job in the sequence, that is 7. Machine M1 out time 12, so its in time is now 12, and for job 7 processing time for machine M1 was 8, so its out time is now 20. For job 5, machine M2 has out time 22, so for job 7 it has to start from 22. Its processing time was 5, so its out time is now 27. Next job 6, machine M1 start at 20, processing time 7, out time 27. Machine M2 in time 27, is processing time 5, so out time 32. Next the final job 4, machine M1 start at 27, its processing time is 8, so it's ended on 35. Machine M2, now it has out time for job 6 was 32, but machine M1 out time was 35 for job 4, so it has to wait and it start from 35, and its processing time was 3, so ended at 38. So total elapsed time is equal to 38, that is the same. And idle time for machine M1, particularly in the complete job sequence, there was no idle time or waiting time for machine M1, but at the end it out time was 35, but the total elapsed time is 38, so it has the idle time, that is 3. Now in the job sequence, at job 3 machine M1 has to wait one idle time. It has the one out time and it has to start from 1, so it has 1 unit of time, that is machine M2 waiting. So first one idle time for machine M2 is 1. In job 2, in job 1 its out time was 3, but in job 2 machine M1 out time was 4, so it has to wait once again 1 unit of time. So its idle time is now once again 4 minus 3 or 1. Now for the next jobs 1, 5, 7 and 6, M2 has no waiting time. But here look, at the 6th job, machine M2 ended at 32, but in job 4, machine M1 ended at 35. So for job 4, machine M2 has to start from 35. So there is a waiting time for machine M2, and that is 3. 35 minus 32. So the complete idle time, that one is 5 here, and particularly we can find out the idle time for machine M2 here in that way: 1 plus 1 plus 3 plus the total elapsed time, that one is 38, and minus the total time taken by machine M2, and that one is 1 plus 1 plus 3 plus 0 or 5, and that is how we can find out the total elapsed time and idle time using Johnson's algorithm. We can also find out the sequence, but once again we have already compared that there is no hard and bound rule for the job sequencing for the same or tie minimize processing time in machine M1 or machine M2, and we are comparing with machine 1 and 2 respectively for the larger processing time or the not.